Heists are Thieving's new and exciting training method, but Monday's 120 Thieving update is adding a lot more than you think. Let's talk about it, so whenever you're ready, grab your cup of tea, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, coming Monday, Jagex is going to release new thieving training methods, being heists, which are a repeatable, active, solo together skilling training method in which you'll infiltrate secure facilities, dodge guards, traps, crack safes, and haul out as much loot as you can. Solo together meaning that you'll have your own progression as an individual, but you'll be able to see other players and kind of follow them around and copy them either to your benefit or your downfall. The first of these vaults is unlocked at level 95 Thieving, and it's kind of an archaeology themed area with ghostly guards, pilometries, and relic style treasure rooms. The higher level heist is Arsuran's Arsenal, unlocked at level 108 Thieving, and this one's different. It's more of a dangerous vault. It's a drunken bunker full of dragonfire traps and deadly security. Now, death here is treated as a normal PVM death, so you'll die and go to Death's office. Without knowing any of the details, I don't think this will matter that much because your thieving equipment and a bunch of food isn't going to, break your bank in terms of death costs. But maybe there's a catch. Maybe you'll be able to use PVM armor to reduce damage. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm not too worried about it being in a normal death. I suppose it will have some kind of penalty on your looting bag, which is something you use similar to safe cracking to collect your loot. And at the end of either a successful or failed or cancelled heist, you'll be able to convert this haul into supplies, coins, and special drops. Now, the amount of loot depends on how much you actually do within the heist itself, where opening chests and pickpocketing things and actually doing thieving activities during will give you points and loot. And the maximum points you can get is 500 points per heist. But if you make a mistake or maybe if you take some damage, I'm not sure exactly how this works, you'll lose points. But thankfully, there is more than 500 points to collect per heist, so there's at least some room for error there during gameplay. Based on the wording of the news post, I believe that, depending on the amount of loot or points you collect during a heist, you'll get a multiplier, like an end reward, where if you have the maximum amount possible, 500 points, you'll get the most, and probably have the highest chance of receiving these new weapons you can obtain as a drop. Yes, weapons from the thieving skill. The first is, I'm sorry designers, the most hideous looking but pretty interesting stat-wise tier 90 Gloomfire bow for the range skill. It has a Shadowfall special attack which will fire arrows into your foe, marking them to be struck by the shadows, which is probably something like a DPS bleed or like additional damage. Seems like a straight up upgrade from the Noxious Longbow if the spec is good and doesn't require too much adrenaline. We then have the Legatus's Ember Staff, which is a tier 90, definitely better looking by the way, magic two-handed weapon, which will probably burn foes based on the wording here, with its powerful special attack called the Last Command. This may be a straight upgrade over the Noxious Staff, depending on the special attack's adrenaline cost and actual damage output, but we'll have to wait and see. And the third and final item you can obtain from this vault, or rare item you can obtain, is Misa Leonar's Death Mask, which is a powerful, without details, necromancy head slot item. Now, in the higher level, Asuran's Arsenal heist at level 108 Thieving, or starting from level 108 Thieving, we have two other rare drops, being Rhaenys' Mercy. This is a tier 90 dagger with a special attack that seems to strike your target 3 times with increasing critical damage. So if you have a high crit build, this may be pretty juicy. But again, that will depend very much on the actual numbers and adrenaline costs, but this could be possibly better than a declaw spec. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. The other rare drop from this vault is a surprising one. It's Nodon's Spike Harness, which is an ammo slot item that boosts the damage of your armor spikes based on your power armor damage bonus and how low your health is. And it seems to straight up boost melee damage. Now, I think that's just strength bonus. I don't know how much this is going to change up melee. It's still not going to make me touch melee, but this is an interesting drop from a skilling training method, mind you. Now, these two heists are far from the only content being added with this update. No, it's actually pretty sizable and there's a lot of changes. First of all, chests have been revamped. Chests will be found in clusters of 3, and similar to safe cracking, you'll need some time to open them, getting XP drops in between until you fully open them for a final burst of XP and some loot. These will be spread between level 71 and level 119 Thieving, with a bunch of different rewards, ranging from stone spirits to ritual components and even necromancy runes. More on which ones I find interesting in a second. There'll also be new pickpockets ranging from levels 50 to level 118 thieving, so not just high level stuff, not just low level stuff and no high level stuff, no, they're actually filling the gap and there's going to be plenty of mid and high level thieving content with this update to explore. Think archaeology trainees, wizard tower mages, fire watchers, goobies, menopause guards, fairies, and more. Additionally, they'll also be adding new stalls, high level stalls that is, in Zenaris and Darkmire. And let me tell you, some of these things, the pickpockets, the stalls, they have very interesting loot. There could be a large variety of new moneymakers thanks to this update. I mean, these Tazar traders and fairies, they'll be dropping onyx dust and bolt tips and gems. The Zenaris stalls, the spirit stall, you'll be able to get woodcutting and mining spirits. The seed stall will have high level seeds, and you know how quickly you can thieve things from stalls. This is going to be at least a moneymaker. Maybe it won't be fantastic, but it's going to be a moneymaker. It will also make it significantly easier for Iron Man to obtain a bunch of these components and ingredients. And, even the trinket soul, it drops freaking charms, summoning charms. Like, what? Scooby scavengers are also going to be a reliable method of getting techie, it seems. So if you want to get Tusker's Wrath easily, and you have a high thieving level, 102 to be exact, well, this might be the method to do so. Raziel's Sizzle chest will drop necromancy runes. Like, what? And the one I'm personally most interested in terms of actual items obtained per hour is the level 119 Darkmire potion stall, which will drop extreme potions. I shit you not. These used to not even be tradable. You can buy them on the Grand Exchange now, but you'll be able to get extreme potions and other so-called high-level potions. Does that include aggression potions? Will that include adrenaline potions? Or replenishment potions? Maybe, no, that's combination potions. But, I'm really curious to see what these will drop. And rest assured, you will be seeing some content on this update in the form of how to do heists. Are these stalls worth doing? Are they good XP? Are they good money? Make sure you subscribe if you're interested in that. Also, on another note, am I the only one that finds it a bit strange that you'll be able to gain actual archaeology artifacts from thieving? I'm not saying it's bad, by the way. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, hey, it's probably not going to be any good. Like, you won't be getting relevant XP by pickpocketing them, I assume. It's probably just mainly going to be materials with a rare chance of getting, a couple of artifacts. But yeah, dynamic, I suppose. Interesting, and it adds some depth to this update, and it adds a lot of variety in terms of things you can thieve, pickpocket, and open, which is good because thieving is fairly boring in its current state. Overall, I think this update will set a new standard in terms of what a 120 skill extension should be. It shouldn't just be one method or, copy-paste certain ores into the 110s. Now, this update seems to add a lot of depth to all the level ranges, including the previous levels below level 99, and it doesn't forget the high levels either, which is good. And credit where credit is due, this seems like a very different update to the recent 110s, which were all kind of samey, craft this unfinished item for this amount of progress, and then, sacrifice it for faster XP. I'm looking forward to this one, and I hope you are too. Catch you guys in the next one.